how'd you do? We are the Honey Dreamers. Who are you?
Well, hi, Honey Dreamers. My name is Bob Keeshan, and I certainly...
Well, how'd you do, Mr. Keeshan? Ooh-blah-doo-doo-doo-doo, Mr. Keeshan. We're so ooh-ba-ba happy to meet you. Sa-ba-ooh-ya-ooh-ya-coo-ya-ba-doo-ya-bop.
Well, I'm happy to meet you, too. But tell me, what is that?
You mean skaba ulya ulya kulya ba dulya bop?
Yes, what sort of singing is that?
The way we're singing is jazz.
Oh, I see. Well, tell me, what is jazz?
Jazz is the way we're singing.
What?
Jazz is the way we're singing. The way we're singing is jazz. Jazz is the way we're singing. The way we're singing is jazz. Jazz is...
Now, wait a minute. You're singing in circles. Now, I'm really interested. I want to know just what jazz is. What does jazz have that no other music has?
Jazz has a certain beat that makes you want to dance all day. Jazz has a sound so sweet, it makes you want to float away. Jazz has a special sadness when the notes are blue. But jazz has a special happiness too.
Like what?
Like ooh-blah-doo. Jazz has a way of saying everybody have a ball.
But what is jazz?
Jazz is.
Yes?
Jazz is.
Yes?
Well, to answer that question, and to answer it right, we'll have to do some traveling.
Oh, I like to travel.
Well, all right. Let's go. First stop, Africa.
That's an African drum, and its rhythm is a part of jazz. Not all of jazz, but a part of jazz. Some people say it's the heart of jazz, but we know for sure it's a part of jazz.
The Africans didn't invent drumming, did they?
Oh, no. Drumming can be heard in all parts of the world, but the Africans are especially good at it.
You see, the Africans are very fond of drumming, and they hardly ever give their drums a rest.
They have rhythms for their working.
They have rhythms for their playing.
They have rhythms for their dancing.
And they're planting and they're praying.
When they're going or they're coming, they may do a bit of humming, but they're mostly drumming. For at drumming, they're the best.
But jazz is American, isn't it?
Definitely.
Then what have African rhythms to do with it?
African rhythms came to America.
Wait, don't tell me. I think I know. They came with the slaves many years ago. Hey, look, I'm talking in rhythm, too.
Just goes to show what the drums can do. Now those African slaves, as we said before, were brought by the thousands to America's shore. They didn't bring much, but just the same, they brought their rhythm with them when they came. Yes, they brought their rhythm with them when they came. And you could hear those rhythms in the songs they sang in the fields of cotton and corn. As they worked, they sang, and their voices rang, and another part of jazz was born.
Did they have songs for all kinds of work?
Just about.
There were work songs for their planting,
And work songs for their harvest.
And songs for hammering rock.
To clear the way for the railroad.
Here's one of those. It's pretty well known. Maybe you've heard it.
John Henry said to his captain,
What?
"A man ain't nothing but a man.
What?
And before I let your steam drill beat me down, I'll die with a hammer in my hand.
Lord, Lord.
Gonna die with a hammer in my hand."
But say, Honey Dreamers, when the railroads came, the Africans weren't slaves anymore, were they?
No.
And they weren't Africans anymore either.
They were Americans.
just like everyone who lives here.
No matter where he comes from.
And they came from all over, didn't they?
Yes, and they all mixed together.
And their music did, too. Listen to how they mixed their African rhythm with their work songs.
John Henry had a pretty woman. Her name was Julie Ann. She walked through the land with a hammer in her hand, crying, I drive steel like a man. Lord, Lord. Crying, I drive steel like a man. John Henry had a little boy sitting in the palm of his hand. And he hugged and he kissed and he bid him farewell, saying, son, do the best you can.
Lord, Lord.
Saying, son, do the best you can. John Henry went up on the mountain, gonna beat that steam drill down. But John Henry was so small and the rock so high that he laid down his hammer and he died.
Lord, Lord.
Yes, he laid down his hammer and he died.
And is this mixing up a part of jazz?
You're catching on, Mr. Keeshan. You're catching on.
And was it only the African rhythms that got mixed in?
Oh, no. All kinds of music got mixed in. Music from England.
And from France?
And Germany.
And Spain?
And Russia.
They were coming from all over when America was young, and they knew what they were doing when they picked this promising spot. Oh, they came across the sea to the country of the free, and the races got mixed in the melting pot. America is a melting pot. When they settled here, they all began to speak the English tongue. But it started sounding different, 'cause they changed it rather a lot. We speak English nowadays in a lot of different ways, 'cause the accents got mixed in the melting pot. America is a melting pot. But they remembered their traditions just the same, and they brought their music with them when they came. America was a melting pot, but the Russian Americans never forgot. America was a melting pot, but the English Americans never forgot.
Who's gonna shoe your pretty little foot?
America was a melting pot, but the French Americans never forgot. Sur les ponts d'Avignon,
Who's gonna shoe your pretty little foot?
America was a melting pot, but the Scottish Americans never forgot.
You take the high road.
And I'll take the low road sur les ponts d'Avignon.
Who's gonna shoe your pretty little foot?
America was a melting pot, but the German Americans never forgot. Ist das nicht ein Schnitzelbank?
You take the high road.
And I'll take the low road sur les ponts d'Avignon.
Who's gonna shoe your pretty little foot?
Something soon began to happen to the music that was sung, to the music of the Russian, French, and English, German, and Scot. There were old songs in the brew, but the music sounded new, 'cause the music got mixed in the melting pot. America is a musical melting pot. Let's travel again. This time, we're in the hills of Tennessee.
And here's a hymn the people sang when they first settled in these parts.
Jesus, thou art the sinner's friend. As such I look to thee. My life for thy glory I will spend.
And now, let's travel to Georgia and listen to how the same hymn sounded.
When the slaves began to sing it on the old plantations.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Don't nobody know the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows but Jesus. Oh, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
You can hear how they added some of their African rhythms.
And they turned the hymn into a new kind of song.
Uh-huh. And did this new kind of song have any special name?
Yes, they were called spirituals. They were sung and played at religious meetings.
Or at any serious occasion.
Like a funeral, for example.
Let's travel over now to New Orleans.
One of those funerals is just about ending.
And now the funeral party is starting out to go back home.
What's that? That doesn't sound like a funeral.
The funeral's over now.
And the mourners are now marching home to the music of their marching band.
Listen, those New Orleans marches are definitely a part of jazz.
You want to dance all day. dance all day.
I know what you mean. It sure makes me feel like dancing.
Well, Mr. Keeshan, it made the people of New Orleans feel like dancing, too.
So they started taking a little of the marching feel out of their music.
They sort of made it smoother and lighter sounding.
And they called it jazz.
But I thought everything we've been listening to was called jazz.
Not quite. Everything we've been listening to is a part of jazz.
African drums, work songs.
Folk songs from Europe.
Spirituals.
And marching band music.
They all went into the musical melting pot.
And now, for the first time, the music was coming out as what we call jazz. Real, honest-to-goodness Dixieland jazz.
Jazz has a special sadness when the notes are blue.
Well, now, I was hoping you'd get around to that, because I want to know just what is a blue note?
Well, it's a note you hear in a kind of jazz that's known as the blues. I said it's a note you hear in a kind of jazz that's known as the blues. When you hear that note, you feel blue right down to your shoes. Well, you can look, but you won't find this note in any music store in town. Yes, you can look, but you won't find this note in any music store in town. 'Cause it's a note you can sing, but it's a note that you can't write down. Well, it's a note between two other notes. That's what I said. If you want to sing a blue note, you gotta carry it round in your head. If you sing exactly on the notes, there's a feeling that you're bound to lose. But if you slip and slide around between the notes, you'll be singing the blues, the blue note blues.
Jazz has a special sadness when the notes are blue. But jazz has a special happiness too.
And one of the happiest kinds of jazz is ragtime.
And that's what you're going to hear right now.
Why do they call it ragtime?
When they tear a tune to tatters, still there's nothing left that matters but the raggedy ragtime beat. Your feet begin a tappy tap and something happy starts to happen. Every raggedy and you meet will greet you with a smile, ragtime style. Ask you, would you, maybe could you dance a while? Every worry scatters when they tear a tune to tatters. Still there's nothing left that matters, I repeat. Nothing left that matters but the raggedy rag. I said the raggedy rag.
Oh, that's ragtime, huh?
I said the raggedy rag.
I get the idea. Uh-huh.
I said the raggedy rag.
All right, that's enough. I
I
understand.
said the raggedy rag.
Oh, I get you. It's perfectly clear. You see, you don't
I
have
said
to...
the raggedy ragtime beat.
Well, all right now, honey dreamers. If I'm counting right, so far we've heard 4 different kinds of jazz. Marching band jazz, Dixieland, the blues, and ragtime. Now, there are more, aren't there?
Lots. We're just beginning. Feel up to another trip?
Why, sure. Where to this time?
Kansas City.
Here's another kind of jazz on the piano. It's called Boogie Woogie.
Yeah, and if you listen real closely, you can hear that it's sort of a combination of ragtime and blues, especially blues in the right-hand part.
Oh, you mean the higher notes, the ones at the top of the keyboard.
Right.
And with the left hand, the pianist used to really pound away as they pushed the rhythm along.
Aha! And when did this Boogie Woogie jazz start?
Oh, about 30 or 40 years ago.
And did it start in Kansas City?
Well, can't say for sure, but that's where a lot of famous boogie-woogie pianists did come from.
But jazz was spreading out all over.
And you could hear boogie-woogie in New Orleans.
And Texas.
And Oklahoma.
And St. Louis.
And Chicago.
And in New York, too?
Sure. But there, up in Harlem, and in some other places too, jazz was getting smoother.
And softer, too.
And swing was becoming the thing.
That's what I'd call wonderful music for dancing.
Back in the 30s, lots of people felt the same way.
Especially young people.
And as more people came to dance to swing in bigger places, the swing bands got bigger and bigger, too.
And soon all over the country, people were listening and dancing to music like this.
Jazz was swinging and smooth.
But a lot of it began to sound the same.
Well, what happened then?
Some musicians around New York began to experiment, just the way classical composers were experimenting.
And what kind of jazz was this?
Rebop, bebop, and bop. Rebop, bebop, bop.
That didn't sound much like the other kinds of jazz to me.
It was different, you're right. So different that not many people could understand it.
Well, it didn't seem to me to have the heart and the warmth of the other kinds of jazz we've heard.
How true.
That was the beginning of cool jazz.
But the warmth of jazz, the swinging beat, refused to be frozen out. And soon, musicians everywhere were combining some of the new cool sounds with some of the warm feeling of earlier jazz.
This is the jazz of today. This is modern jazz.
Well, now, I think I know jazz when I hear it, but if somebody were to ask me, what is jazz, I'm still not sure I'd know what to say. Can't you tell me, nice and simple, what is jazz?
Jazz is...
Yes?
Jazz is...
I think they're going to tell me.
Mr. Keeshan, don't you know what jazz is yet?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me.
We won't tell you, we'll show you. Listen, sing a tune.
Oh, any tune?
Yes, any tune.
All right, now let me see. Oh, I know. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Hold it, that's enough. Now listen.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Row your boat
Merrily,
gently down the
merrily,
stream.
merrily, merrily, life is but a dream.
Merrily, merrily.
Oh, they're playing marching band jazz. That's Ragtime. And there's good old Dixieland. I know that one. Boogie Woogie. Ah, swing. Real cool. Bop. Now we're up to date. Modern jazz.
Now you know what jazz is?
I think so. For one thing, it's made up of lots of different kinds of music from lots of different places, isn't it?
Yes.
But the combination is strictly an American one, isn't it?
Yes. Jazz is American music, all right. But go on.
And what it is, well, it's a way of playing any music. A certain American way of playing any kind of music at all.
You are right.
Jazz has a certain beat that makes you want to dance all day. Jazz has a sound so sweet, it makes you want to float away. Jazz has a special sadness when the notes are blue, but jazz has a special happiness too, like ooga-doo. Jazz has a way of saying everybody have a ball. Jazz is just a way of playing any kind of music at all. What we call jazz is this way of playing